What's up, everyone? I hope y'all are doing well. I think for this year I'm going to take up drawing again, with the goal of animating some of the content myself. I don't have the funds to hire an animator. When I was a kid, I used to draw all the time, even during class. I never paid attention in school and would just spend all day drawing. The teachers used to come by my desk, snatch my drawings, crumple them up, and throw them away. Then I'd start all over again. I dreamt of becoming a cartoonist or comic book artist, but life happened and I stopped drawing. It's actually been over 15 years since I drew anything. Anyway, moving on. The story I'm uploading today was something I had in mind for a long time. It's of the fantasy/wuxia genre. It is still ongoing, so I don't know how it will end, but I hope you enjoy it. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. If you're feeling super generous, check out the Pocket Shop for some merchandise. Thanks, everyone. Dragon's Destiny. Chapter 1. Drakonia, Realm of the Dragons, exists between Midas, the human world, and Anima, the spirit world. It is divided into 6 primary regions and are ruled by the dominant factions from those areas. They are the Gold Empire, Silver Kingdom, Ruby Nation, Emerald State, Azure Republic, and the Obsidian Country. The factions are named after the colors of dragons from each region. Their appearances, powers, and abilities vary individually from one another, especially by region. Over 1,000 years ago, an alliance was formed between the Golden Empire and Silver Kingdom, which ultimately resulted in the unity of the entire realm. The dragons joined forces with other realms to fight against the Netheran threat invading Midas. Together, the dragons, celestials, and humans defeated the Netherans, who retreated back to their homeworld inside Anima. To fulfill the Golden Empire's promise in their alliance, Emperor Hu Jingyi sent his most beloved and beautiful daughter, Sun, to marry the crown prince of the Silver Kingdom, Wang Zhuyin. On the way, the caravan was ambushed while crossing the Osseous Canyon by beastmen from Nether, which hadn't been seen since the Great War. Princess Sun narrowly escaped capture with the help of a young dragon warrior named Wu Jin. Everyone else perished in battle. In order to buy the princess more time, a severely injured Wu Jin decided to stay behind to hold off the horde. With his eyes closed, Wu Jin stood on his knees, bracing himself with his sword. His hair, golden-plated armor, and white cloak was now coated in blood and ash, matching the scene of the battle. The young warrior regretted nothing. He'd achieved a lot for his age. Wu Jin became the youngest dragon warrior in the history of the Golden Empire, and perhaps in all of Drakonia, at just 36 years old, equivalent to a teenager in human years. Though young, he was just as powerful as some of Emperor Jingyi's generals, and was a talented swordsman. Then at 54, Wu Jin was assigned as Princess Sun's personal bodyguard for the caravan to the Silver Kingdom. Unfortunately, it would never make it there. The young dragon warrior lifted his face toward the sky in one last prayer. He prayed to his ancestors for Princess Sun's safe passage and a good death. At that moment, the clouds parted and the warm rays of the sun caressed his skin. Taking it as a sign his prayers have been granted, he smiled. "It's a good day to die," he said out loud. He opened his eyes and rose. Before him was a dark tide of beastmen ranging anywhere from lycans, porcaeans, minotaurs, and more. The rumble of footsteps and hoofbeats descending on Wu Jin were deafening, with the high walls inside the narrow canyon amplifying the noise. They finally stopped 20 paces from him. The center of the line slowly parted, and a warrior in a black suit of armor on horseback rode forth. "My name is Peng," he said. "Warrior, stand aside, and I'll let you live." Wu Jin spat out a wad of blood and got into a fighting stance. He concentrated on his breathing, gathering and focusing all the spirit force his body could offer in his wounded state. A faint but massive amount of gold aura began to radiate from his entire body, also enveloping his sword. It danced and flickered like a flame. The dragon warrior charged at his enemies, dragging his sword along the ground, creating a huge fissure behind him. His speed rapidly accelerated as he blurred out of sight, leaving only a golden streak. "So be it," Peng said, disappointed, signaling his troops with a wave of his hand. The beastmen rushed the lone warrior. The golden streak zipped left to right to left, spinning and swirling all over the battlefield, cutting down 5 to 10 enemies at a time. Those that died burned to ashes, their remains scattering into the wind. As Wu Jin picked up speed, the energy surrounding him intensified. manifesting itself into a golden dragon. Peng looked on in astonishment as the transformation unfolded before him. Incredible! This young man was still able to transform even against the seal in his weakened state. What a magnificent display of willpower and determination. The golden dragon darted after the old captain, but he remained on his horse as immovable as a mountain, neither flinching nor wavering. Peng waited precisely until the very last moment to evade the dragon's strike. He leapt off his horse. The attack missed by a hair, splitting the animal in half, spraying blood and sending guts flying everywhere. The old warrior countered by driving his blade right through the dragon. It writhed in pain, letting out an ear-splitting roar, showering blood from its mouth. As grim as the situation was, the dragon was determined to take its enemy with it to the grave. Peng had other plans, however. He kicked the beast back with enough force to dislodge his sword, then spun behind it as the dragon lunged in for one last attack. Its claws missed their mark and the old warrior's sword found its target. The dragon's headless body collapsed onto the dirt, twisting and turning every which way until it finally stopped. As a former dragon warrior himself, the captain regretted having to kill Wu Jin. Given enough time, Peng was sure he would have become one of the strongest warriors in the history of Draconia. He knew the fight would have been a lot closer had the young man not been injured and Peng not used the seal to neutralize his foe. But he couldn't afford any failures, not with a job this big. Dishonorable as it was, Peng had none left to lose. He'd lost what honor he had long ago.